So, you have some excess belly fat. That's cool, I can help. I'm not going to tell you to lie down on the ground and start doing crunches or sit-ups. In fact, there's not going to be a single crunch in this entire video because crunches and abdominal exercises are not what will help you lose belly fat. Let me repeat that. Crunches and ab exercises will never, ever be the best exercises for you to lose belly fat. The exercises that I show you today are going to be far better and much more effective at burning fat at a faster rate. Before we get started, there is a huge myth that I want to bust, especially for the beginners watching this video. It's a myth that you can target a particular area of your body from fat burning. What I mean is that there is no exercise out there that will specifically target belly fat. No such exercise in the world. There are exercises that are better for burning overall body fat, and I'll go over those exercises with you today. But your body is going to pull from fat stores from all different areas. Also, unfortunately, medial areas of the body like the belly, the butt, the upper thighs, and the love handles are the last spots to go. You're likely to lose fat off your face before you start losing it from your belly. Don't worry though, as you burn away more and more excess body fat, you eventually start burning fat from these problem areas, and that's when you'll lose that belly fat. The point is to lose belly fat, you have to concentrate on using overall body. That's all you could do. And these exercises are the best body fat burning exercises that I know. So let's get started. Let's start with the first one, which starts with burpee and ends with the movement of climbers. Burpees are one of the best exercises you can do without equipment to burn a lot of calories. The main reason to choose burpees is that burpees work many muscle groups at the same time and also work many joints at the same time, meaning you basically work your entire body. The second reason is that burpee involves our large muscles, and our larger muscles burn more calories than smaller muscles, and the combination of more muscles in one movement burns even more calories. Then you do the following movement of climbing. As soon as you do this movement, you will understand how much this exercise affects your body. And after a few repetitions, you will realize that you are breathing heavily, which is because of the pressure on this movement. I put the training of these two moves with 9 other top moves of the world on your page in a video whose link is coming now. Don't miss that video either. Our next move is dive bomber push-up. This movement is great for working with the upper body, especially the chest, shoulders, triceps, and pelvic area. To perform this movement, first stand on all fours and spread your feet a little wider than hip width and your hands approximately shoulder width apart. Raise your hips as much as possible so that your body becomes an inverted V shape, and keep your back straight. Your knees should not be locked and you should be on your toes. Then try to bring your chest closer to the ground like a bomber. Your face should be in the opposite direction and stay in this position for 1 second, and then do this movement in reverse. And do this 10 to 15 times. Our next move is intermittent high knee plus a shin, so that you perform 10 times the periodic long knee movement for each leg. After doing it, you immediately fall asleep and take a nap, and you do this cycle 3 times in a row to complete a set. It is better to do this movement for 4 to 5 sets. For the next exercise, we need a chair or bench or stairs or anything we can step on. In this exercise, you need a little nerve and muscle coordination. For example, you start to lunge with your right leg while facing a chair. Immediately after doing the lunge with the right leg, you go to the chair with the opposite leg and do 1 repetition of the high knee according to the video. After that, you get down from the chair and do exactly the same thing with the opposite leg and finish with a total of 10 repetitions, ions. The last exercise includes lunges and squat jumps. Most people I see get lunges wrong, so make sure you don't make the same mistakes as them. Start by standing straight and take 1 leg out so that your legs are well apart, and it's almost like you are doing squats on 1 leg. If your knee goes ahead of your toes, you will realize that you are making a mistake. And after doing a side lunge for both legs, squat down as far as you can and jump up to do a jumping squat. If you have problems with your knees, you can do just 1 squat movement up to 90 degrees without jumping. So these are 5 exercises that you can do without any equipment to burn a significant amount of calories right at home. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next videos. Thank you for being with us.